In this series of videos, I'm going to show you how to make these little roses that can be used to embellish hats. You can make them into barrettes or a brooch for Mother's Day. You can sew them on afghans, purses, or whatever. The thing they're not used for is they're not going to be put on a stem because they are not made so that they gather to go around a stem right here. So that's one thing that they're not made for, but if you can figure out how to do it, feel free to try to put it on a stem. I'm going to start by showing you the smaller rosebud. Now the thing that I'm going to do differently is my foundation chain. It kind of goes around here in a spiral, and you can't see that because it's pink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use green to do the foundation chain, and then I'm going to attach the pink and make the petals. And you might want to do that too. It just makes it easier to see where you're going to make your stitches. What I'm using is medium worsted weight yarn, and I'm using a size I crochet hook, no, an H crochet hook, excuse me. Medium worsted weight yarn calls for an I crochet hook. I'm going to use an H. So if you're going to be using a finer weight yarn to make a smaller rose, use one size smaller hook than what's recommended on the yarn label. You also want to have a green for the leaf. This one here is the camouflage yarn that I used, and I like the multicolored yarns for, it's called an ombre yarn when they are different shades of one color. And the camo is pretty much all green. There's a little bit of brown in them too. But you can find shades of green in other variegated yarns. Now for the tutorial, I'm going to use this Kelly green, this brighter green yarn, so that you can see the stitches better. So let's get started. I started out, I made a chain of 25 with the green, and then I made a 26th chain and I pulled it tight like this. Now I'm not going to go through and show you how to make a chain stitch again. I have a video on that in the Back to Basics series, and if you're not familiar with your basic stitches, I recommend that you learn them first and then come back to this video. Alright, so after you make your chain of 25, then you're going to use with the green, then you're going to use your flower color, and you want to leave a little bit of a tail, about 6 inches, and then you're going to join that in the first chain. Like so. Now if you haven't started your chain yet, what I want you to do is pause the video and make your chain of 25 stitches. Okay, now if you've resumed this video, I just pulled a loop through the first chain with my crochet hook, and then I'm going to chain one. Now we're going to single crochet all the way across this row, but we're going to go into the loop on the bottom of the chain instead of the top. So you go through this loop down here at the bottom, and so you'll have 2 loops on top and 1 on the bottom. And I'm going to work over the tail for the first stitch and make a single crochet, and then pull that up a little. Okay, now hold your yarn behind your work, your tail behind your work, and we're not going to work over it anymore. So then you're going to go under the bottom loop of the next chain and draw up a loop and draw through 2. So it's 2 single crochet. Let me zoom in here a little bit so you can see exactly where I'm going in this stitch. Okay, go in this bottom loop, then you draw up a loop, yarn over, and draw through 2. Now I'm using a boy hook, so I might split my yarn every now and then. I prefer the Susan Bates, but that's stuck in another project, so I'm using my boy. So you go in that way, and then you twist it back so that you have 2 loops on top. Draw up a loop, draw through 2, and I want you to single crochet across the entire chain in this manner. So I'm going to pause the video here so that we can go all the way to the last chain, and you pause it as well. I've single crocheted all the way across, and I'm going to go into that very last chain, which is my slip stitch. And if you pulled your slip stitch tight and didn't count it, then ignore this part. So you want to go into that bottom loop again, and then draw up a loop, draw through 2, and then pull that tight, right like that. Okay, let me zoom it back out a little bit. Now, see how that twists? Most everything you crochet is going to twist like that when you go into the bottom loop. And for this flower, though, that's a good thing because it's going to be twisted on itself to make the petals. So we're going to chain 1 and then turn. Okay, I'll zoom back in a little bit, not quite as far as it was. All right, we're going to make a single crochet in the first stitch. Then we're going to skip the second stitch, and we're going to make 7 double crochets. Yarn over, insert the hook, draw up a loop, yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over, insert the hook, draw up a loop, yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over, draw through 2. Do it again. Now if I'm going too fast for you, you're going to have an opportunity to pause and catch up, so don't worry. Maybe just pause here and watch, and then pick up your yarn and start working again when we hit the pause spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need to put 2 more in there. 6. These are really tight. 7. Okay, now we're going to skip single crochet and go in the next one. And then we're going to make a single crochet. Then you skip a single crochet and go in the next one and make 7 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so these are forming our petals that we're going to twist and make into our flower. So what I want you to do is follow this pattern all the way across the row, skipping 1 and then single crochet, then skip 1, 7 doubles, skip 1, single crochet, skip 1, 7 doubles, all the way across the row. And when you finish your last 7 doubles, there should be 2 stitches left at the end, and you'll single crochet in that last stitch, and I will come back and show you that. So I'm going to pause the video right here, and you pause it too, and come back when you get to the other end. Okay.